Daniel Tiger's future is guaranteed with a new season coming in 2026. But do you really know the past and the entire evolution of the Little Tiger show? First appearance. The first thing you need to understand about Daniel Tiger is that he appeared a very long time ago. This character is probably older than our grandmothers. Seriously, Daniel Tiger first appeared on television in 1954, more than 70 years ago. But this character was a puppet and not a cartoon. He was called Daniel the Striped Tiger, and he would always appear to help the show's host teach something important to children. We actually have a picture of the very first Daniel to show you, and the image is so old that it's in black and white. Daniel continued existing as a puppet on the TV show The Children's Corner, hosted by his creator, Fred Rogers. So, Daniel's past began on television way earlier than you might imagine, and today we're gonna show you the full evolution of the character. Stay tuned because another awesome Cinewave is already on. Cartoon. Daniel turned into the cartoon we know today on September 3rd, 2012. 13 years ago, which means that our little tiger, at least in his animated version, should technically already be a teenager. But just like what happens in Peppa Pig, time does not pass in Daniel Tiger's universe, and because of that, our main character is still only 4 years old today. Even so, we know that one day this is going to change. And why are we so sure? It's simple. Our favorite cartoons are changing. Anyone who follows our channel knows this is happening. And because of that, we know that one day Daniel Tiger will grow up. Will Daniel Tiger's 8th season show a new version of the series? We'll have to wait until next year to find out. But what do you think about that? Baby! But one day Daniel was just a tiny tiger. When he was born, Mom Tiger and Dad Tiger had a really cute idea. You may have noticed that there's a photo of Daniel displayed outside the house where they live.
And this is a super sweet detail that shows how much Daniel's parents loved their son. They probably put his picture up when he was born and kept updating it as he grew older. But that's not all. Daniel has a favorite toy, his small blue stuffed tiger. That toy, named Tiggy, was definitely a gift he received when he was still a baby. Also, it was probably during this time that Daniel got his favorite fish, the blue fish that unfortunately passed away in an episode from the past. Of course, because the blue fish was older, it passed away first. Did you know that Daniel's early years were like this? Learning to walk. One day, Daniel had to learn how to walk, and this moment was very important in the story of our little tiger. As we mentioned, the character first appeared on TV as a puppet, which means he didn't even have legs to learn how to walk. But in this universe, he needs to be a little boy who knows how to walk, because all of his games and activities with his friends involve running, jumping, or walking somewhere. Another moment where Daniel learned to use his legs well was in the swimming episode, when the teacher showed him how to kick his feet in the water to swim. We still don't have an episode that shows Daniel learning to walk, but the story where he swims in a pool for the first time is a big clue to how things happened when he was younger. Of course, he learned quickly. After all, tigers are great runners and swimmers. Would you like to be a tiger like Daniel? Comment #tiger so we can get to know you. Talking. Daniel learned how to talk after he turned 2 years old. We know this because his sister, Margaret, is a little tigress who still doesn't speak very well. This proves that characters of Daniel's species only learn how to talk after age 2. This moment in Daniel's evolution is important because anyone who watches the show knows that Daniel needs to talk. In every episode, Daniel talks to his parents and friends to learn the message of the story. For example, the day when Daniel learned that hurting his friends is wrong and that saying sorry is very important. It was only after Daniel learned to talk that his parents and grandparents began teaching him the stronger lessons of the show. Let's remember that this character only exists because of what he teaches his fans. School. Daniel definitely started school with Teacher Harriet when he was only 3 years old, and today he is in his 2nd year of school. This moment in his evolution was very important because that's where he met his best friends, such as Prince Wednesday, Elena, Katarina, and many other characters. Daniel, being a very anxious little boy, often ends up in small conflicts with his friends. You might remember the day Daniel got upset with Elena because she sat in the seat he wanted, or the day when Prince Wednesday got mad at Daniel because Daniel didn't let him serve the refreshing juice to everyone on a hot day. Everyone knows that Daniel can be a difficult boy sometimes, because sometimes he crosses the line and tries to be mean to others. But thankfully, he always learns the right thing to do and apologizes for his mistakes. And that is something very sweet about him, don't you think? Birth. It was when Daniel turned 4 years old that he gained a sister. Little Margaret arrived in the series in episode 2 of the second season, and the most interesting thing is that she is a character created specifically for the show. Margaret exists to teach Daniel that he needs to be a responsible and mature boy. Being an older brother is a very difficult job. Bluey and Peppa know this very well. Being an older sibling is the same as being the best friend and at the same time a great protector of someone who needs you. Of course, Daniel has already been mean to his little sister a few times, like when he didn't let her play with Tiggy, or when he didn't want to play with her because he was sad and angry after the blue fish died, or when he felt jealous of his sister on her birthday. Daniel was upset because the party wasn't a special day for him, the decorations were the color he didn't like, and the presents were not for him. But it is very clear that Daniel became a much more caring and responsible little boy after Margaret was born. Another neighborhood. Daniel is a character who, until the release of the 2018 movie, did not know other neighborhoods. In that story, our protagonist evolved a lot because it was the first time he traveled with his mother to such a faraway place. He and Mom Tiger traveled to a neighborhood where a friend of Daniel lived, a friend he only knew because they used to exchange letters. The name of that friend was Juan Carlos, and the boy was the son of a very close friend of Mom Tiger. On that day, Daniel learned about train stations and even about soccer, which is Juan Carlos's favorite sport. Not to mention that he also discovered many things about Mexican culture, which is the country where his friend comes from. It was very important for the character's development to discover everything he learned that day, and this has everything to do with Daniel growing up, because now we are sure that the protagonist will become a more responsible tiger. Will we get more episodes of Daniel traveling? We really hope so! We are excited for that! The subscribe button is flashing just for you. Click it and hit the bell right now. Growing up. Now we are going to talk about Daniel's future. Of course, time in the cartoon's universe is changing, and there are some reasons for this. We explain that, just like what happens in Peppa's universe, time is frozen in Daniel Tiger's world. But this is going to change because the animated series is reaching its 8th season. And what does that mean? It's simple. Daniel Tiger's story began in 1954, more than 70 years ago. But the cartoon we know aired in 2012, 13 years ago. Which means that the fans who watched the show back then are not the same people today. The world changes, and Daniel needs to change too. Does that mean he will grow up and become a teenager? That is very possible because it is already time for him to grow. There would be new friends, a different school, and more important lessons the character would need to learn. Let's remember that all of this makes sense because Daniel came into reality as a puppet at a time when televisions didn't even have color. And today, his universe is known all over the world. That is why there is so much hope and excitement that the 8th season, which premieres next year, will be the best one yet. New sibling. And still talking about changes, could a new sister be coming for Daniel? Or maybe a new brother? You might think that this is strange, but we're going to prove that it actually makes a lot of sense. We know that if a cartoon doesn't evolve, fans stop liking it. That is why Evie Pig was born in the universe of the Little Pink Pig. In Bluey, the new cousin of the little blue dog will be born in the next season. And we already know that the main character will have a daughter in the future. Daniel Tiger cannot fall behind, and that is why we believe that the Tiger family will gain a new member. Maybe a new little brother in the future? Someone who will really need Daniel's help. Would fans like to watch Daniel running and playing with a younger sibling? Would fans like to see Margaret grow up? That would be something really cool, right? Teacher. And if you had to guess what Daniel's future job will be, what would you say? He will definitely become a teacher, and we know this because Daniel is a character who is always learning. The idea of the series has always been that the protagonist learns more about the world and then teaches us. Daniel is always breaking the fourth wall, which is when he talks to the viewers. And then he shows everything he learned that day, not hurting others, apologizing when you make a mistake, being kind and friendly to everyone. Those are lessons Daniel teaches us, and that is why we are sure that this character will become a teacher just like Harriet when he grows up. Does that also mean we will get a new series in this universe? Probably yes. New series! If Daniel grows up and becomes an adult, we might need a new series or a new main character. The most famous cartoons in the world need main characters who are children. Let's remember that the same thing can be said about other famous cartoons, like Bluey, who will be replaced by her daughter in the future. For Daniel's evolution, this means that he would have children when he grows up and then be replaced as the protagonist by his child. Will that work out? The fun continues with just one click. There are 2 videos on the screen waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.